Outlander's 6th season was a huge hit among fans, and many of us are now eagerly looking forward to what awaits us in the 7th. But with it still being a few months away, what's better than to look back at the 6th season and recall some of the most memorable moments it had to offer. And so, in today's video, we'll be taking a look at the best moments from Outlander Season 6. Starting off on number 12, young Ian turns to Claire for advice. The Ridge can't help but gossip once Malva informs everyone that Jamie is the father of her child. It's obvious that not only was that a lie, but quite a couple of other guys may be the child's actual father. Young Ian is among them. Ian makes a confession as he turns to Claire. Malva's been in his bed, but he doesn't care for her. Still, he proposes to marry Malva since he knows he may be that child's father. In this case, we can definitely see his noble side. He'll make every effort to protect the child and clear Jamie's name. Because of that, this was definitely one of the best moments in the season for us. Moving on to number 11, it's the flashbacks of young Ian's time with the Mohawk. More information regarding young Ian's time spent with the Mohawk was revealed in the 6th season. While most of this happened over the course of a single episode, it still fits in with the story quite well. The best part is that we got to see all of it shown to us. When it comes to novels and TV shows, it's always better to go with the show don't tell technique. In this instance, we saw young Ian's transformation into Mohawk, his love for Emily, and his struggle to cope with the tragedy of losing a child. It made season 5 of Outlander so much easier to understand. The fans could then get into Ian's headspace and realize why he may be suicidal. At number 10 is Brianna realizing what the mole means. Jemmy's head has to be shaved by Brianna as they go to Edenton. The only remedy for his head lice is to shave it. It's at this point that she spots a mole. She first worries about it, though Roger continues by saying it's benign and inherited. He's aware because he has one. Roger doesn't immediately recognize that what he's said is significant. Brianna, though, picks up on it. In this instance, we believe we can see the impact Jemmy's paternity question has had on Bree. Up next on number 9 is Roger figuring out his place in the past. The whole season, Roger longs to return to his own time. When he finds that the past has become his home, he's got to learn how to stay in this era. He unintentionally discovers his calling in life. When there's no minister present, he offers his help. He knows what to do and say because he's the son of a clergyman. He then understands that the residents of the Ridge require his services in this capacity. Roger then converses with Bree before Jamie. He'll become a minister since that's what he's meant to do in the past anyway. Following up at number 8 are the flashbacks at Ardsamir. The beginning of season 6 of Outlander took us back to the 3rd season. We returned to Ardsamir to witness Jamie's arrival. The Protestants and Catholics at the prison are at odds with one another. Understanding the arguments is crucial. We mean understand who Tom Christie is as a person and the reasons for Jamie's distaste towards him. It's also important to find out how the two managed to coexist for so long despite their differences. It's another instance where we're shown rather than told, which is always great. At number 7 on the list is Fergus explains the life of a dwarf. Henry Christensen can have a happy life according to Claire, but Fergus is aware that's not the case. He's familiar with what it's like to be a dwarf. At this point, it becomes obvious why Fergus is so upset with Henry Christensen. It's not that he doesn't love his son, rather, it's that he can't be there to defend him. Henry Christensen may live a life of humiliation and harsh treatment, and he doesn't want that. Fergus hasn't really gotten an opportunity to stand out as his own character, and we think that season 6 of Outlander corrected that. Plus, at number 6 on the list is Tom protecting Claire from Richard Brown. Tom Christie obviously doesn't think Claire was behind Malva's death. He wouldn't have shielded her if he had. Instead, he wants to see to it that Claire is given a fair trial as everyone else witnesses her being taken away. He's aware that it's unsafe for Claire to go with Richard Brown. He offers to accompany her and accepts Jamie's invitation as well. Tom stays behind after Jamie's removal. Claire is safe from any harm thanks to him. Tom presents Claire with money when they arrive in Wilmington, although he's aware that the deck is stacked against her. He'll still try to be as helpful as he can. With all of this, we see his kind and compassionate side. Following up on number 5 is Claire attempting to save the baby. Claire understands right away that she cannot save Malva. There's still a baby inside her though. She promptly makes an incision in Malva to save the child, doing it exactly as described in the book. It's too late in the end. The baby ends up dying and there are now 2 funerals to attend. While tragic, this demonstrates Claire's capacity to surpass negative emotions to do what's needed. Just because Claire doesn't like Malva by this point doesn't mean that she's going to let a baby die. Next at number 4 on the list is young Ian getting much needed closure. Young Ian notices the Mohawk when he's at the Cherokee village. One of them is Kaheritin, who Ian thought of as a brother when he was a Mohawk. This was even more difficult when we find out that Emily selected Kaheritin after realizing she couldn't have children with Ian. Ian has a shot at gaining some closure though. He acknowledges Emily's choice of Kaheritin and her rationale. Ian also understands that he's not required to be two people at once. He may be both Mohawk and Scott. We really need to see this. Giving Ian the chance to advance in life and discover happiness once more was perfect. Ian's moving on wouldn't seem sincere without the proper resolution. Then at number 3 on the list is Jamie saving Fergus's life. Fergus saw some greater situations in Outlander Season 6. One of those was his attempt at suicide. While in the books, we just get to hear how it happens. We saw it for ourselves in the TV show. At the river, Fergus is making an effort to end his life. He just came upon Jamie by coincidence. This is the time for a moving speech. Jamie uses the opportunity to demonstrate that Fergus has something to give everyone, and we learn what's going on in Fergus's mind. Fergus learns that he's needed and should talk to people around him to get help. Moving to the second best moment on the list, Claire telling Jamie about her ether use. Fergus is just one in a long line of people who need help in this show. Claire must also be more vulnerable and stop depending on ether to get by. By the season's finale, she succeeds in doing precisely that. She has a moment where she believes she's recovered from the trauma, but it quickly becomes apparent that it's not only the trauma from the night Lionel Brown kidnapped her. She'd so far been able to set aside everything. Claire wasn't able to do that anymore, and so everything came flooding back to her all at once. Though after talking to Jamie, she realizes this isn't a weakness. Speaking is a form of power, and she has Jamie at her side while she battles her demons. Taking up the number 1 spot on the list is Claire believing Jamie didn't have an affair. Claire first isn't sure what to believe when she hears Malva say that Jamie is her father's child. She does know one thing about Jamie: if he had a child, he would fight to protect them. That may indicate that Jamie is being truthful, but she does want to be certain. If it's true or not, she needs to hear from Jamie. Claire wanted to make it clear that she made several sacrifices that had an impact on a large number of other people. She now wants to know if everything she did was in vain. Is her love for Jamie truly one-sided? It's significant to see Claire question everything. She was bound to challenge Malva's claims. Anyone would, and those who claim they wouldn't haven't dealt with this kind of issue. The fact that Jamie doesn't criticize Claire for originally trusting Malva is the best part. He first listens before speaking. By the time everything was said and done, Claire knew Jamie well enough to realize that he'd have claimed the child if it had been his. Finally, here's what to expect in Outlander Season 7 according to the books. With the best moments from Season 6 now accounted for, let's talk about what we may think in Season 7 according to the books. Firstly, we'll have to wrap up the event of the 6th season. Because of the pandemic, the show's 6th season had to be reduced to just 8 episodes. As a result, we didn't see everything dealt with. The Christies will get a proper conclusion that, while satisfying, is incredibly dark. The show will deal with some lingering plot elements, and then we'll time travel once again. Bree, Roger, and their 2 kids will return to the future. Here, they arrive around 1980 and move to Lollybrook. The 7th book deals with them rebuilding their lives in this period, but that doesn't mean we're done with time travel. Here's more wild stuff to happen from there, including a family reunion that we're sure many fans will be excited to see happen on screen. If they stick to the original source material, we think this season could be one of the best ones for Outlander. But that's gonna be a wrap for this video, my friends. Which of these moments from Outlander's 6th season was your favorite? Comment below, and while you're down there, maybe give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.